Welcome to another check-in episode in our Delirious WEST 2026 podcast series, where we're following a brave bunch of runners as they take on one of Australia's wildest ultra trail events and generously bring us along for the journey to the start line. Today, we're catching up with one of our Delirious Bound legends to hear how things are tracking, the wins, the wobbles, and all the lessons in between. Let's dive in and see where they're at this month. Today on the ZenRUN Podcast, we are checking in with another one of our very special Delirious athletes, Nikki Frost. Hello.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Tom?
I'm great. How are you?
It's good. Yeah, not too bad. Ticking along.
You're ticking along. What's been up? Tell me about your running that, well, I mean, I already know because you ring me all the time, but tell everyone else, how's your training been going for the last 4 weeks?
So melodramatic. Some people would love me to call them, I'm sure.
You keep saying
I can't
that.
actually remember where we last left it, whether it was sort of that discussion as to whether I did the gone nuts or not. I feel like I did have my ITB.
Yeah.
Yes, I did have my ITB at that time. So the ITB has still been sort of lurking, definitely triggered by anything that sort of elevation wise, and even some tempo work has sort of upset it over the weeks. I've been going to the physio continuously, but sort of been stuck where I'm able to run, but just with a fair bit of discomfort. And then even after the run, depending on the run, it can be troubling me throughout the day as well.
So
that's really, just really unpleasant, I guess, quite achy and really disheartening.
What about when you do a run that doesn't have any load, like you're not going faster and you're not going up hills? If you're just doing a flat sort of slow jog, do you still have that ache later in the day?
So it's only recently started to improve where I'm not feeling it throughout the day. And even I've just only recently started to have some runs where I'm not actually feeling it during the run necessarily, or if I am, it's more of a dull pain rather than sharp pain. For context, when it initially happened, I'd have to stop walking my dogs and sort of almost stop and grab my leg in pain. But now I've definitely sort of progressed through and I'm not as in much pain, so that's a positive. But I wouldn't say I'm completely out of the woods just yet, but definitely improved substantially from what it was initially.
Excellent. Now, I have not, because I'm a terrible mother, asked you how you've been going with the reflux, with throwing up, but then you haven't really been putting yourself under any load, so maybe you haven't been testing that at the moment.
Well, I think because of the ITB issue, I haven't done necessarily those long runs where I was experiencing it. It wasn't necessarily the load, because historically I've been able to do tempo runs without any issues of my reflux. It's more sort of in those longer endurance runs, and then when I start feeling myself and or I don't know if it's the right terminology, but almost like drinking too much water at once, sort of almost
guzzling.
I don't know, taking on too much water has triggered it a lot. Like wading in a run to the point where I am quite thirsty, and then sort of going all out at the bubbler that I find, or whatever it might be, because I'm pretty good for not taking a Vesta and I can get away with it. Whether that has been part and parcel of the triggers, but definitely more seeing that within the space of those longer endurance runs. But due to the ITB, I've not really done anything too substantial. I mean, I think that the ones that I had done were actually with yourself more recently. And I was definitely feeling the ITB at that point, but reflux was fine. I did a 20-odd K the other day, and that was fine for the reflux as well. Just taking the medication that the doctor prescribed me even prior to the run, and then that seems to be keeping everything at bay, so that's great. I probably haven't trialed as much nutrition as I would have liked, though, at this point, where, a month and 2 days or so off the event.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what I'm going to actually eat during the event. So
you just eat what I eat. And take a tablet
Probably.
if you feel sick.
Yeah, maybe. Probably just follow your footsteps. Maybe chuck in some Easter chocolate in there.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
Nutella. I am a big fangirl of Nutella.
Mm.
Ferrero Rochers. They're really yummy.
I want
Also,
everyone to throw Ferrero Rochers at you.
who knows? Yeah, who knows? I'll probably just whatever is craving at the time, but hopefully something that I think of prior so that it's on quick and easy hand for Natasha to resource and to
Yeah.
supply me with, I suppose.
Well, I think I already told you that that Bianca, who's another one of our delirious athletes on the podcast, she recommended last year because she's an expert at all of this. She's done so many of these kind of runs, including much further, that things like the wrapped pancakes, like a crepe
Oh yeah,
that you get
yeah,
just in the supermarket, they're all, horribly individually wrapped. So there's lots of plastic and stuff, but they have them with like a Nutella, like a chocolate in the middle.
yeah,
And I found them last year really good because you could just take one and put it in your pack and carry it and then pull it out while you were running as well. Like it wasn't, it's not
yeah,
hard to eat and it was portable and it gave you that kind of sweet thing, but it wasn't too dry. Like sometimes
yeah.
bread can be really dry when you're, been
Yes.
running for a few hours.
I've definitely found myself out on the trails historically and really struggled with sort of bread.
Yeah.
I mean, I struggle to eat as it is in events, let alone, I remember at one point a lady giving me some of her egg and bacon roll, or sorry, bacon and cheese roll.
Ooh.
And I tell you now, it was so difficult. It was like pure torture trying to get this down, but it was like a loop course. And I thought, oh, if I don't eat it, she's going to see it on the ground. Like I've got to get through this.
So that was very kind of you to worry about her if she's seen it.
Anyway, I
You're funny.
digress.
Well, we need to backtrack a tiny bit because you started by saying the last time that we spoke, you were talking about, it was probably me telling you off. No, you shouldn't do the Delirious 75K.
We've gone nuts.
Sorry, not
75K.
Delirious, Gone Nuts, another crazy event. The Gone Nuts 75K because of having done that course, I knew the terrain and, you have an ITB that's triggered right now. And not only that, but the following week you were moving house, which you have just completed. What decision did you make, Nikki? Over to you.
Yeah, so obviously I was really keen to do the Gone Nuts 75, but unfortunately it didn't work in my favour this year due to the ITV. And I think life was also a bit busy in retrospect. I did go away for work the week leading up to it, and then even the weekend of it, I got the keys to my new place on the Monday and the event was on the Saturday. So it probably, in hindsight, was the best decision to make and just not to further aggravate the ITV. However, it was still disappointing and a bit upset to miss out. A bit of FOMO there for sure. But it is what it is at this point. Just sort of got to keep myself focused on what the long-term goal is. And obviously that's the Delirious event at this point. Although who knows, maybe Gone Nuts next year.
Which distance would you do next year?
Not sure. Obviously, for those who don't know, the Gone Nuts 52 was actually my first run event as an adult, which obviously also ended up subsequently being an ultra.
2 years ago, I will say.
Yep, 2 years ago, and I think that the trail there is absolutely stunning. The coastline of Tasmania, where it sort of weaves itself about, is second to none. So I think being my first trail run, the first running event as an adult, and my first ultra, it definitely will continue to be something a little bit special to myself. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what distance I would do next year. Maybe try the 100, knowing that you've done that one, and it was obviously quite the event. And I hear a lot about the 50 that I didn't do, as we had overlapped for 50, but you had done the extra 50 prior. So yeah, maybe get back and do the 100. Who knows? See what the times are doing at that point, I suppose.
So is
Who
there
knows?
any other reason that FOMO might have come up after the event that you missed out
Well,
on it?
my friends are there for one.
Uh-huh.
But also I was a bit, I guess, disappointed that I'd been talked out of joining the event just for only 3 females, including myself, to have even been signed up for it. So a podium was a guarantee, regardless of ITV, as long as I got over that finish line, of which, looking at my track record of even damaging my teeth and the enamel on my teeth and still completing runs, I feel like I would have had the mental toughness to get myself over that line and podium. Although
you may not have been able to do Delirious as a result. So.
Can't have it all, Mum. Sure as hell I'm not going to podium for Delirious, so I'll just take what I can get at any point.
Well, not if you're staying with me anyway.
Yes, well, anyway, no. It's all good, but yeah, I guess a little disheartening. I also did reasonably well in that first 52 there, so maybe there's something in just doing that event that works in my favour, but obviously it didn't work in my favour this year because I didn't get to be part of that, unfortunately. But yeah.
There's always next year.
This is true, although it sounds like you have a different event at this time frame next year that you'd like me to participate in. So
I don't even know if it's going to be on the Hut to Hut from what I heard. So we'll see. We'll see.
There you go.
Anyway,
To be continued.
Knows? Don't like to put too many things out there just yet because
Days of Our Lives, Nicola and Michelle. Episode 4. What episode are we on? 5? 4?
Oh, 4 or 5. I'm not even sure. It's getting a little crazy.
This could be a life series. It's like Delirious and then it just continues to go. Series after series. What's next? Nobody knows.
It could get really, really boring.
It could. I mean, I am pretty boring by nature. I
know.
love an early bedtime. I like getting up early. I like to eat a lot of food.
And run a long way now. Now you like to
run a long way. And that's probably about it. The odd hike.
So you've moved, right? So you're in a new place, and you were just telling me you're on a hunt for a gym that's nearby because the apartment you moved from had its own gym. But now you need a place that's very close so that you don't have to wander around the dark, dark streets of Melbourne in the very early hours of the morning, especially in winter. You want somewhere that's really close that you can jump on a treadmill or, do some weight work.
Yes.
And you're having a bit of trouble finding one that's close enough.
This is true. And I did actually get a second bedroom. And part of the reason in this move was to have that
for
extra
your mother
space,
and father.
potentially for a treadmill. However, I haven't
for your
yet to
mother
find
and
a treadmill that I actually like.
There'll be no room for us to sleep in there if there's a treadmill.
The interim will be to have a gym membership that's nearby. I have different gyms that I want to go to for like hybrid workouts and sort of strength sessions, but just something that's accessible on a 24-hour basis that's super close and convenient would be great, just up until I find myself a treadmill. But yes, it's not as simple as I had hoped. But also I've been for a few jogs in this area now. Yes. And I'll tell you what, where I was living in Melbourne, Port Melbourne is where I started. Then I moved up to South Melbourne, which is just up the tram line for those that aren't familiar with Melbourne. I now feel as though I have moved into this area of which there is elevation. And people looking at my Strava would be like, you're not doing elevation. What are you talking about? But I can tell you the effort level I'm putting out, I feel like I'm doing elevation.
Oh, there's hardly any elevation in Richmond. Don't be such a wuss.
Whoa. To the individual, it may not appear this way, but I, and my own experience, my own lived experience after going for 2 jogs in the area now, actually.
2 whole jogs.
Yep, there's some elevation in the area, guys. I just want to put out the public service announcement. Be warned, there'll be no PBs in the area. There'll be no...
Well, you'll have to run down to the Tan, which is like 5 or 6 k's away, and then you could do your little PB around the Tan, and then you can just head back along the Yarra Trail. You'll be right.
The Tan most definitely has elevation, Mum.
And does it?
You've either got the really steep hill that everyone's trying to do hill sprints on, or alternatively, you've got like a gradual hill that never ends. So there's
The bottom one's
definitely
flat along near the riverside. That's flatter.
oh,
The
that's
one
not
that
the tan though. That's just like one
It's
side
one
of
part
it.
of the tan. It's one part of it. Come on, don't be a wuss.
Anyway, so just public service announcement. If you're going to move to Richmond, just be prepared that it's not as flat as other areas of Melbourne.
It is flat as a tack. Anyway, whatever. So,
Disagree.
what is your plan for the next few weeks? So, leading up to, we may get another call in between now and hitting the start line.
Oh, this is our last one. Oh,
It could be, but we might get another one in. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go.
So my plan is to do what my coach tells me to do,
Okay.
which
Go, Amy.
time will tell. I'm also probably going to try and focus on a bit of nutrition, but really just under the direction of Amy, the coach.
Yeah.
But I did see that she's put a practice 50K run in my calendar. So
that's nice. I don't think I have one of those in my calendar.
Well, I have a 52 run, and then the following day she did already put in a 2.5 hour hike. So
I like that.
That weekend's a write-off. But I will need to persuade Natasha that this is a great idea for us to do some trialing of our teamwork when it comes to aiding and enabling me to sort of power through, I suppose. Tash and I have a little bit of history with the whole her aiding myself, as probably the listeners would know, but we have done one event since I sort of started doing more events late last year, and then before that it was the 100 that I did the year before. So we've only really done 2 events, of which one of them Mum was there also aiding. So it'll just be good for me and Tasha to sort of trial some stuff out. She's really good with it anyway, but it will just be more those things, and I think the ultra runners probably understand. There are some things when you get to an aid station that are really irritating you or whatever it might be, but you may not even have the effort or the energy to be expressing what it is that's concerning you, or what you're wanting help with. So it's just sort of almost those unspoken things that'll be great to sort of work through together, I suppose. I think Mum's got some sort of checklist floating around, so I'm sure that will come in handy for the actual event, because as much as I'm winging it, I feel like Tasha's probably winging it a bit too. She's just sort of right along for the journey, which is positive by all means. But it probably won't do us any harm to go and do this practice 50 and
practice one.
Get a taste.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. No, I don't have a 50K in mine. I was just having a look. I've got a 2.5 hour hike followed by a 4-hour hike.
Amy, if you're listening, this is a favoritism alert.
Yep. No, it's because I'm old and we have to look after me, so I don't
get believe this is actually because I didn't do the Gone Nuts.
Yeah, that's true.
So I could have podiumed. I could have been at the peak of life. Yep. I could have been on that endorphin high, living my best life, but instead I'll be doing a 50 out in Victoria somewhere no one will know about but my little sister.
And Strava.
I don't know. Will we put it on Strava? Anyway, so there you go.
We take that. Do not try and do any splitting times in your 50. I assume Amy's already said just do an easy 50, not a go fast 50, because you don't want to trigger that ITB so close to the event, young lady.
Oh. Well, I do believe it is scheduled for the 20th or something similar, so about 3 weeks out of the event.
Okay.
So
that's all right. That's good. One thing I wanted to ask you about was your sleep banking. We talked about it a little bit last year on the podcast with a couple of the people the athletes, and I think it was Glenn Smatheringham who brought it up because he'd read a study on banking sleep and saying that you could bank sleep, but then most of us were really crap at actually banking sleep, even though we talked about it and thought about it. Tell me your theory on banking sleep at the moment, especially as your parents are coming to stay in your new apartment for the 2 nights prior to us all flying to Perth together. Tell us what you've told me.
I was listening to the Diary of a CEO, and I don't remember the exact episode, but it was virtually a sleep doctor talking about athletes, especially going into big events, and about how when you know you're not going to sleep well going into something, that you can actually bank that sleep leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken that quite literally, and I intend to bank and maximize my sleep for the days leading up to the event, inclusive of the Easter weekend prior to the event.
Mm-hmm.
I usually work in a little bubble of my own little life where I live alone and it's nice and quiet. I've got 2 Italian Greyhound puppies, but otherwise we go very much undisrupted. And then my mum decided to have an Easter weekend in Melbourne with all the family events you could probably poke your finger at and some. So I have asked that mum doesn't disrupt my sleep, and that I probably won't be attending.
So no chocolate for you, no alcohol, certainly no. We'll be doing a lot of carb loading, actually. It'll be serious training for Delirious.
I'm more than happy to eat the chocolate.
I bet.
But anything of an evening, I'm probably going to bypass. I don't want to be a part of that. And then I am also concerned because my dad can be quite a loud snorer, so I'm hoping that doesn't sort of disrupt my sleep either. But as far as the alcohol part, I don't know if I told you, Mum, but I'm trying to do the year dry, so the alcohol doesn't really worry me.
I'm very proud of you, darling. You're amazing.
So I will quite happily carb load. However, I'm also going to sleep load. Sleep load, carb load. I think that sounds like the life.
There's a few Delirious athletes who are doing a dry right up until the end of the event. And they're quite happy to have a drink at the end of the event at our after party. Will you have a drink then or not? Or you don't know yet?
I wasn't intending on it. I'm not much of an alcohol drinker anyway, to be completely transparent with the listeners. Not much of a drinker, and very unfazed by alcohol. So probably not. Added to the fact that I did try to drink a beer after my 100K, and I do remember bonding with the toilet bowl after that event. So I'm not saying that the alcohol caused me to throw up, but it definitely didn't help while I was throwing up. So yeah, look, I'm not saying that I will, but I'm definitely not saying that I won't. I did actually reflect on my decision to do a dry year, of which I thought would be no biggie because, again, not a big drinker. However, the area that I've just moved to is one of the busiest streets in Richmond with a lot of bars and whatever else going on, quite the social nightlife. And I thought, well, it'd be quite nice to be immersed in this just on the odd occasion with a friend, but I don't know how that goes, just drinking a Coke Zero at the bar. So who knows? I might not even stick to the dry year, but it's something where I don't really drink that often anyway. It was just something I thought I would challenge myself with. Definitely not going to be strict on it if it comes up and it's something that I want to do. But I found that a lot of the time I was drinking was actually to appease people that I was surrounded by in that sort of, work drink setting or similar, where it was actually I'd probably rather not drink this and go for something more tasty, because about the only alcoholic drink that I really love is an espresso martini. The rest of them I'm really quite unfazed by.
I quite like an espresso martini. Espresso martini.
Yeah, I always say it wrong.
They're really cool.
I do very much like that.
Gear stuff. Now, I've been asking everyone about gear. Now, as you're maybe one of the only real newbies to the whole thing, how are you feeling, like, to Delirious? And most of the other athletes, I think, have either done it or done one version of it or been around it or crewed it. What are you thinking about when it comes to the gear and what you need to take? And because we have to travel so far, and how many shoes and poles, or are you just waiting for me to sort that out for you? That's going on?
That's an awfully silly question. I don't know what you think this is. Look, I have not thought about that.
Excellent.
I have been thinking actually about the new speed goats that were meant to be, they might be released now. Speed goats number 7, I think. That I wanted a pair of those for the run. However, I'm not sure if they've been released in Australia yet. They were meant to be at the start of the month, so maybe they have now. But I'd like to get some of those for the event. My Solomon vest, I'm not sure if I've said this previously, but that's actually broken. It's been broken for a long time. It's got some tears in it. It's worse for wear.
Does it
Have
still
I bought
work?
another one? No, I haven't bought another one yet. Am I intending to? Yes, I will. I am probably my mum's worst nightmare when it comes to these events.
Yes.
She is the OCD organizational queen. And I mean, like, I have not seen this sort of critique and detail in my mum's life, probably in any other facet. However, mention ultra running, and she's like all over it, more than like white
Are
on
you saying
rice.
I'm
Like,
not organised in other parts of my life apart from ultra running?
not in comparative to this. Like, this is something that you are just like, it is a passion project. So
I have to say running. It's running, not just ultra
the
running. It's my
fact,
podcast. It's anything to do with running, I would think.
yeah, valid, right? The
Yeah.
fact that I leave it to the last minute, if not the last second, is probably my mum's biggest pet peeve. I mean, as the listeners probably recall, when I was doing the first ultra that I'd done for a good few months, and I realized that the mandatory list included a snake bite bandage, of which I didn't own. I had to run around Melbourne looking for one on a Friday night before the event on the Saturday. So I definitely
Oh my
am not
God.
my mother's daughter when it comes to the event preparation, which is why I can't, with any detail, answer any of these questions about what I've been thinking about, because I haven't been thinking about it.
Well, in part, you've been saying to Natasha, Mum will sort that out. Mum will give us a list. Mum will do. So
And you
my
know what?
planning.
Mum will do that. So that's one of the added benefits to doing this collectively in a team with my gorgeous mother.
Oh yeah, right. You're sweet talking now, so that I'll do all that for you.
You're the planner in the group. You know how they like look at group holidays and like someone's the planner, someone's just along for the ride. Well, public
Someone
service announcement. I am definitely just along for the ride.
Oh, nice. Who's the social butterfly of the group then?
I don't know, maybe Dad if you get him on a good mood. He's missed me, and the few times that he's aided me, he did miss me at an aid station because he was busy chatting away. So quite potentially could be Dad.
Love it. All right. Well, I will, when we get off this, you and I are booking a little bit more accommodation for our West Australian side so that we will be closer to the start line, which is exciting. Yeah, that's very exciting. And it really is just, as you said, it's like a month and a tiny bit away, like 4 weeks and a bit away. Like it's very, very close now. So anything you do now, you've got to be, there's things like you don't overtrain, but also be very careful stepping off the footpath and look out for trams because you don't want to hurt yourself. Like just an accident, a irregular, like random accident. You don't want that to happen this close to an event. You've got to wrap yourself in bubble
I
wrap.
mean, I don't want that to happen on a good day, Mum, but thanks for the forewarning and concern that I am hearing through the microphone. Greatly appreciated. I'll be sure to call you if that does take place.
I have no doubt whatsoever that you will. It's crazy.
Anyway.
Well, Nick, thanks for sharing and sometimes oversharing. We'll probably talk to you again. Again before the
end. I hope you talk to me again.
How we go. Oh, no, we'll definitely talk. Anyway, on the podcast, we will probably have you on again before the end. We'll see how the timing goes. But definitely on the other side, we'll probably, we might even have some chats, depending. We'll see how long you stay with me on the actual race. We could maybe even record some things while we're jogging along, trying to breathe and then chat or whatever. Oh, it could be, no, it won't be like that all the time because, well, it wouldn't make the whole distance.
You're first, folks. This is news to me as well. Don't worry. We're all shocked.
Could be a podcast on the trail. Oh, that could be fun.
Oh,
there you go.
Goodness.
That would be a good giggle.
About that. No.
All right. Now,
there's
no point me talking to you at all about the changes of course and all that kind of stuff because you didn't do the first one and you've got no idea what the map looks like or where you're going because your mother's sorting all that out for you. So none of that means anything to you. So I won't even bother talking to you about it on the podcast, but I will in a minute. I will fill your ears with it.
No way.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I know, it's crazy.
Where does it start?
It starts in Melbourne. next week. You just head across the Nullarbor, head west. You'll get there at some point, and then I'll join you over there. So you do the first bit from Melbourne to Northcliffe. Okay.
Lovely. Done now.
All right. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for sharing. It's been lovely to catch up with you.
Thanks for having me, Mum, and all the listeners.
Every day.
That are in my corner, supporting me through this hard time. Mum giving me tough love and not wanting to do the event with me.
I can't wait to do the event with you, honey.
Oh.
Exciting. All right. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mum. I will avoid standing out the front of trams.
Good. Cheers. Love it. And that's a wrap on this month's check-in. A huge thanks to our athlete for sharing another honest look into what it really takes to train for something as big, bold and slightly bonkers as Delirious WEST. We'll be back with them next month for another update, so be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss a step. Whether you're training for your own ultra or you just love dot watching with a cup of tea and a bicky, you're in the right place. And if you've got a mate training for something epic or needing a nudge to start, send the podcast their way. Catch you on the next one.